okay, puts your conscious construct. It's like changing the antenna on a radio, okay, to pull something different out of the Akashic. And in the Akashic, you have the every possible wavelength. The two slit experiment proves this. If you look into the two slit experiment, and what I would, just for some fun scholarship, I'll bring up two shows that are out right now that really, really deeply allude to this. One being Devs, and the other one being the show Loki. Two people told me to watch these shows because of the things that I talk about, and they're actually spot on with a lot of this stuff. So in Devs, they make this machine that is able to deprogram ripple effect events, cause and effect. So, like, if an example they use is this woman pushes a pin across the table, and everything happens for a reason, right? And it can be calculated on why she pushed that pin was to prove a point. Nothing happens without a reason, and that if you calculate and reverse engineer why I pushed that pin, and you keep doing so, you can peer into the past as if you were standing there. Now that's the show. So that's how time works, depending on the consciousness perceiving and interacting with the material matter mother meter system in the moon matrix, the things that come out of the Akashic and densify for us to knock on, interact, eat, drive cars. There's an every possible wavelength, though, depending on where your thought pattern chooses to align. And some people will sometimes jump into those frequencies. It happens in your REM state. This is when you dream, because your thought forms change. You have alpha, or delta, beta phases and things like that. Those are frequency bands. And when they change, you perceive different imagery. So that's when you dream. While you're conscious and you raise a vibration, you don't have to fall asleep to change your frequency. You can do it while in a conscious state as well. And you will perceive what we consider a different reality. But it's a timeline. So just like in music, though, you have timelines that harmonize together and timelines that don't. The timelines that don't harmonize are the timelines that these entities we're talking about exist on. They're out of harmony. They're out of sync. They're out of the flow of the love of God. This free will band, this frequency of the chakra systems and the 12 and the zodiac and the Messerot, they're bound by universal law, these entities. Someone's brought up the number 11. So your number is 11, but you still have to climb through all your 36 chambers to unlock the power of 11. You have to go through 1 through 10. You have to ascend to 11, but that's where your unison point is for you, and you loop back over. Not 12, not 13, 15, so on and so forth. It's at 11. So that's your ley line construct. That's what your spiritual vocation and human design is calling you to be here, because we're different modalities of source. So these beings don't have that. The fish is a fish, and it's going to be in the ocean for millions of years. It's not going to evolve. It's not going to start building cities and inventing computers. It's a fish. A turtle's a turtle. A bird's a bird. But humana beings, we evolve. We have free will. Our minds, we can travel through, time, astral project, all these things. We're not locked by a universal law. We're born into sin physically. But this time frame that we call time and timelines is an ever infinite band that goes up and down, and we have an inverse that goes up and down with us. That's the as above, so below. That's red shift, blue shift. So if you look at a sine wave and you watch these shows and you listen to what they're saying, it'll start kind of lining up with, the things that you're asking, I believe in. Peace, guys.
Did you say something about sin physically? Right? Or am I
Sin physically? Sin is an abbreviation for sine wave, is what I said. And that when we're born into sin, it's saying we're born into time.
Okay. How do you feel about